Folks, for this tutorial I'm using a file, SPSS file called IndDeptSampleT example save. You can find that in the file library. First thing to know about SPSS is the difference between stacked and unstacked data. Here is the dependent samples t-test. Subjects in the dependent samples are being compared with each other. So here's a pre-measure, here's a post-measure. Pre-measure, post-measure. This is considered unstacked data. In the independent samples t-test, the subjects that are in the control group are not in the treatment group. And how this works is this vector, this column right here, is used to code membership in the independent independent variable. So we have a control group and a treatment group. Here's the dependent measure for this independent samples t-test. Okay, now let's turn to the variable view. In the variable view, pre-measure, post-measure, they're both scale data, and that's all we have to do with it. With the independent samples t-test, we have to group membership is a string. It's not a number, it's just a name. And it doesn't, you don't need to worry about this. You just got to turn it on a name. Okay, so now let's go back to data view and let's run the independent samples t-test. So we go to analyze, compare means, independent samples t-test, and there we go. So pain relief is our dependent measure. Group is our independent measure. And here's where we would define groups. So I've already done this. Group 1 is control and group 2 is treatment. Okay, so we've got it. We've got the dependent measure up here in the test variable. We've got the independent variable done in the grouping measure, and we just say OK. Well, here we have it, folks. First of all, we'll note that it's not statistically significant, and we can sort of see that because here we have a difference of approximately 0.5%, and the standard deviation is at least 3 times larger than that, so that will not be statistically significant. If you were going to send this to me as your output, you can just close it, save the contents of the output, do something like send to Dan, my independent sample, and there you go. You could just mail that off to me. Alright, with the dependent samples t-test, it's a little different. Again, it's side by side, and it's analyze, compare means, paired sample t-test, and this is what it looks like with this one. So I'll get this back to where it was. So we have a pre-measure, put that in there, a post-measure, we put that in there, we say okie dokie, and there we have it. And now we have statistical significance. Notice that this is the same exact data that was in the independent samples t-test. In other words, it was 5.4 and 5.9, but now we have statistical significance. And the reason is because in a paired sample t-test and all repeated measures designs, subjects are being treated as their own control. So we're controlling for the noise of the pretest, and now it's statistically significant. I hope this helps. My wife said to use my Disney voice. I'm not sure how I did. Okay, bye-bye.